The tale of the Devil's Bible, also known as Codex Gigas, begins in the 13th century within the walls of a Benedictine monastery in Bohemia, present-day Czech Republic. The legend tells of a monk named Hermann, who was sentenced to a horrifying fate for breaking his monastic vows. Facing the death penalty for his transgressions, he struck a desperate deal with the devil to save his own life. In exchange for his soul, he promised to create a grand book that would encapsulate all human knowledge, a project that would take a mere night to complete. Welcome to Shrouded Mysteries, where we uncover the most unsettling and enigmatic stories from around the world. Today, we delve into the sinister origins of a manuscript that has sparked curiosity and fear for centuries. Some say it's a work of divine inspiration. Others, a cursed object bound by a deal with the devil. Join us as we explore the secrets of the Devil's Bible. As the night deepens and the shadows stretch across the land, a chilling tale emerges from the depths of history. The Codex Gigas, ominously known as the Devil's Bible. This colossal medieval manuscript, a dark artifact shrouded in mystery and fear, was crafted in the early 13th century within the dim confines of the Benedictine monastery of Podlajic, nestled in what is now the Czech Republic. Its presence evokes an unsettling sense of dread. This behemoth of a book stands almost 36 inches tall and weighs a staggering 165 pounds, making it the largest surviving European manuscript from the Middle Ages. But what stories lie within its ancient pages? According to the most chilling legend, it all began with a monk named Hermann. A man of faith and devotion, Hermann fell from grace, haunted by transgressions that led him to break the most sacred vows of monastic life. The consequences of his actions were dire. The abbot, a figure of stern resolve, condemned him to a fate worse than death, execution, for his sins. In the shadowy recesses of his cell, with the weight of despair pressing upon him, Hermann faced his impending doom. As darkness enveloped the monastery, a desperate thought pierced through his fear. To save his life, he could attempt the unimaginable, create a book that contained all human knowledge in just one night. Realizing that such a monumental task was beyond any mortal, he conjured a sinister idea: to seek the aid of the very force that embodied chaos and darkness, the devil himself. In the dead of night, with the moon casting an eerie glow through the barred window, Hermann whispered a prayer, but it was not directed toward heaven. Instead, he invoked the dark spirit, making a fateful pact.
I will serve you in exchange for the knowledge and skill to complete this tome.
As the clock ticked toward dawn, the air thickened with an unsettling energy. Legends claim that the shadows danced in his cell, swirling around him as he began to write, quill in hand. The walls of the monastery seemed to pulse with life, a dark entity feeding on Hermann's desperation and fear. Hours passed as he inscribed the sacred texts, the ink flowing like blood across the pages. Each stroke echoed in the silence, and with every word, he felt the oppressive weight of his pact. His vision blurred, haunted by whispers, insidious voices promising power, knowledge, and eternal life. Yet, with every line he wrote, a chilling presence loomed closer, reminding him of the cost of his bargain. The Codex Gigas was no ordinary manuscript. It was a compendium of biblical texts, medical knowledge, rituals for exorcisms, and even spells that danced on the edge of the forbidden. But at its center lay the most disturbing illustration of all, a full-page portrait of the devil, grinning with malicious glee, his eyes piercing through the fabric of the pages. When morning broke, its light seeped through the cracks of Hermann's cell, illuminating the manuscript that lay completed before him. The abbot, drawn by a strange compulsion, found Hermann kneeling before the colossal tome. The monk, eyes wide with a mix of triumph and horror, had fulfilled his end of the bargain. Yet the price was steep. In that moment, he understood that the knowledge he had sought came with a dark price: his soul. The legend states that upon seeing the completed Codex Gigas, the abbot was filled with awe and terror. The weight of the manuscript was matched only by the burden it carried. Many who read from its pages spoke of strange occurrences, a creeping dread, shadows flickering at the edges of their vision, and a sense of being watched by an unseen presence. Hermann's fate remains a subject of speculation. Some say he vanished into the night, his spirit forever entwined with the dark forces that aided him. Others claim he lived out his days in solitude, consumed by guilt and terror, knowing he had traded his eternal soul for fleeting knowledge. The Codex Gigas became more than just a book. It morphed into a symbol of the eternal struggle between light and darkness. Scholars and adventurers alike sought it out, driven by curiosity and the tantalizing promise of hidden knowledge. Yet those who dared to delve too deeply often found themselves ensnared in a web of misfortune and despair, whispering of a curse that lingered long after the book had turned its final page. As we delve deeper into the shadowy legacy of the Devil's Bible, we are left pondering the eternal question: what price are we willing to pay for knowledge? In the hushed silence of the monastery, a heavy weight lay upon the air, a palpable tension that seemed to throb in time with the heartbeat of the Codex Gigas. Measuring nearly 3 feet in length and weighing an imposing 75 pounds, this tome was a sight to behold, a monstrous artifact of human ambition entwined with dark forces. Its presence alone evoked a sense of foreboding, as though it harbored secrets too terrible to be revealed. The manuscript's pages, crafted from animal skin, bore the mark of meticulous hands, each sheet imbued with the essence of creation and sacrifice. As the monk Hermann poured his soul into his work, the ink, an unsettling blend of black and red, wove through the parchment like lifeblood, a dark tapestry that told a story far beyond mere words. It was said that the ink contained whispers of forbidden knowledge, calling out to those who dared to gaze upon it. As the quill danced across the pages, the codex began to transform into something otherworldly. The ink seemed to pulse, throb, and shimmer, reflecting the fears and hopes of its creator. Each stroke carved deeper into the fabric of reality, unraveling the boundaries between the sacred and the profane. The colors, stark and vivid, cast long shadows that flickered like phantoms in the dim light, drawing forth an unsettling sensation in all who entered the chamber. With each turn of the page, Hermann felt an unseen presence loom closer, a dark energy that coiled around him like smoke. It was as if the shadows themselves were hungry, feeding off his desperation and ambition, whispering sweet promises of power and knowledge that dripped with temptation. Yet beneath the allure, there lurked a deep-seated terror, a growing awareness of the price that would be demanded in return. The Codex Gigas became a mirror of Hermann's inner turmoil, reflecting the struggle between his longing for redemption and the darkness that threatened to consume him. It was no longer just a collection of sacred texts. It was a labyrinth of twisted knowledge, inscribed with spells, exorcisms, and secrets of the universe that danced dangerously close to the edge of forbidden wisdom. The very pages seemed alive, thrumming with the weight of what they held, waiting for the moment when the world would dare to unleash them. As the final hours of the night melted away, Herman's focus began to waver. He could feel the weight of the manuscript pressing down on him, its physicality merging with the supernatural, creating a sense of dread that clawed at his sanity. The walls of his cell closed in, and the once hallowed space morphed into a realm of nightmarish visions, where shadows whispered of despair and darkness beckoned with chilling promises. When dawn broke, casting a pale light into the chamber, it illuminated the grotesque beauty of the Codex. Its cover, adorned with intricate illustrations, glinted ominously, hinting at the terrors held within. The air was thick with the remnants of his pact, a promise forged in desperation that had birthed a manifestation of darkness, now forever bound to the manuscript. Herman understood then that he had not merely crafted a book, he had summoned a force that transcended time and space, a reminder of the eternal struggle between light and darkness. The Codex Gigas stood as a testament to the lengths one would go to in pursuit of knowledge, and the haunting question lingered in the air. At what cost? Whispers slithered through the dim corridors of the monastery, weaving tales of a dreadful curse entwined with the Codex Gigas. It was said that the very act of crafting such a monumental tome under the weight of desperation had summoned forth dark forces, echoing the fears that slumbered deep within the human soul. As the monks exchanged hushed warnings, they spoke of a chilling reflection hidden within its pages, a mirror that revealed humanity's most grotesque nightmares, entwined with knowledge that should have remained shrouded in shadow. The words inscribed in the manuscript resonated with an unsettling energy, pulsing like a heartbeat, urging the curious to read further, yet threatening untold consequences. Those unfortunate enough to cross paths with the Codex found themselves ensnared in a web of inexplicable misfortune. Reports of mysterious disappearances swept through the monastery like a winter chill, leaving the air thick with dread. A sense of foreboding settled over the monks, each one haunted by the belief that the Codex held dominion over their fates. Accidents, strange and unexplainable, began to plague the monastery. Shadows flickered in the corners of their vision, a ghostly specter lurking just beyond the reach of light. The once hallowed halls echoed with the sound of whispered incantations, but no source could be found. Some claimed to have glimpsed a figure, dark and formless, stalking the candlelit passages, a haunting reminder of the pact forged in desperation. In the silence of the night, the very walls seemed to pulse with a sinister energy, resonating with the fears of those who dared to dwell within its confines. Each turn of the page brought forth a new dread, a realization that the knowledge contained within the Codex Gigas was not merely a collection of texts, but a conduit to the unfathomable, a power that once awakened could never be contained. As the monks grappled with their growing terror, the question loomed large. What ancient knowledge lay hidden within those cursed pages, waiting for an unwitting soul to unearth its dark secrets? And at what cost would that knowledge come? The Codex Gigas, once merely a book, had morphed into an enigma, a dark artifact that threatened to consume all who dared to seek its power. The legend of Herman did not conclude with the completion of the Codex Gigas. Whispers spread like wildfire among the monks, each tale more chilling than the last. Some claimed he had become a recluse, a shadow of the man he once was. Consumed by guilt and terror, he wandered the monastery's darkened halls, his mind unraveling as the weight of his pact pressed upon him. The faces of the damned seemed to haunt him, their eyes filled with accusations, reminding him of the darkness he had conjured. Others spoke of a more sinister fate. Some said Hermann vanished into the night, leaving no trace, swallowed whole by the very shadows he had invoked. It was as if the darkness had claimed him, dragging him into an abyss from which there was no return. His absence sent tremors of fear through the monastery, as if the walls themselves mourned the loss of a soul, entwined with the cursed manuscript. But there were those who insisted that he met a grisly end. They painted a horrifying picture of a man driven mad by his own creation, the echoes of whispers driving him to the brink of insanity. In the stillness of the night, the sound of his frantic scribbling could be heard, an incessant scratching that pierced the silence. Those who dared to listen claimed he pleaded with unseen forces, begging for release from the torment of his own making. As the legend grew, so did the tales of Hermann's spectral presence. Some claimed to see his ghostly figure wandering the grounds, his face a mask of anguish, forever searching for redemption that eluded him. The very air around him crackled with a foreboding energy, an unsettling reminder of the pact sealed in desperation. The Codex Gigas, now a cursed relic, became synonymous with Hermann's fate. It served as a grim reminder of the price one pays for knowledge too dark to comprehend. The monks, gripped by fear, dared not delve too deeply into its pages, for they understood that to confront the shadows was to invite their wrath. As the years turned into decades, the tale of Hermann faded into the annals of history, but the specter of his actions lingered. The Codex remained an eternal testament to the dark bargain made in the depths of despair, and the fate of a monk who had reached too far into the abyss, only to find himself forever entwined with the darkness he sought to escape. The Codex Gigas has woven its way through the tapestry of history, a dark thread binding the fates of those who dared to possess it. From the dim, cloistered halls of the Benedictine monastery to the opulent chambers of royal collections, this cursed manuscript has evaded destruction, leaving a trail of whispered warnings in its wake. Its presence, a harbinger of curiosity and fear, has drawn the attention of countless souls throughout the centuries. The 30 Years' War marked a significant turning point in the Codex's journey. As the flames of conflict engulfed Europe, it was seized and transported to Sweden, a refuge that proved to be a double-edged sword. Within the National Library of Sweden, the Codex Gigas found itself among the relics of power and prestige, yet its ominous aura remained unyielding. Scholars and aristocrats, entranced by its beauty and the stories it contained, sought to unravel its mysteries, only to discover that some knowledge is best left undisturbed. Those who sought the Codex often found themselves ensnared in a web of tragedy. Tales of misfortune trailed behind those who dared to study its pages. A renowned scholar, consumed by obsession, disappeared without a trace after spending a fateful night deciphering its ancient text. His colleagues recounted that he had been seen muttering to himself, eyes wide with terror, as if the shadows within the manuscript had come alive to claim him. Collectors, too, were not spared from the Codex's curse. One wealthy patron, driven by greed and ambition, acquired the manuscript for his private library. But shortly after its arrival, a series of misfortunes befell him. Strange accidents, financial ruin, and ultimately a mysterious illness that left him bedridden and frail. Rumors swirled that he had angered the spirits, bound within the book, and soon his once thriving estate fell silent, echoing only the whispers of a curse that had sealed his fate. Even those who merely glimpsed the Codex Gigas were not immune. A historian visiting the library in Sweden reported a feeling of being watched as he examined its pages, a chilling sensation that crawled beneath his skin. Shortly thereafter, he vanished, leaving behind only a journal filled with frantic scribblings about the sinister aura surrounding the manuscript. As the centuries unfurled, the Codex Gigas became a symbol of the eternal struggle between knowledge and the unknown. It lured the curious and the ambitious with promises of enlightenment. Yet it served as a reminder that some truths lie buried in darkness. The manuscript's journey continues, its pages filled with secrets that whisper of a power too great, too terrible, for mortal minds to grasp. As the relentless march of time carried the Codex Gigas into the modern age, it became a source of fascination and speculation, inspiring countless theories that sought to unravel its enigmatic nature. Researchers and historians alike pored over its ancient pages, each delving into the dark depths of the manuscript with a mix of reverence and trepidation. Yet, with each attempt to decode its secrets, the shadows of its past loomed larger, casting doubt on the intentions of those who dared to explore its contents. Some scholars argue that the Codex Gigas serves as a reflection of humanity's collective fears, a chilling mirror that reveals our darkest impulses and vulnerabilities. Within its sacred texts, one can sense the echoes of a time when superstition reigned supreme, and the unknown was a source of terror. The haunting illustrations and ominous passages seem to warn of the consequences that accompany the pursuit of forbidden knowledge. As researchers sift through its pages, they often find themselves grappling with an unsettling question. Does the Codex foretell the downfall of those who seek to harness the powers it contains? Yet others propose a more insidious interpretation, suggesting that the manuscript acts as a cautionary tale against the dangers of obsession. In their eyes, the Codex Gigas stands as a monument to the folly of ambition, a reminder that the thirst for knowledge can lead one down a treacherous path. Tales of scholars driven mad by their insatiable curiosity are not mere folklore. They serve as chilling reminders of the toll exacted by the quest for enlightenment. Those who have studied the Codex have often reported strange phenomena, visions, whispers, and an overwhelming sense of dread that permeates their thoughts, as if the book itself is aware of their presence. Theories swirl around the manuscript like a dense fog, each one more tantalizing than the last. Some claim it was created as a vessel for dark magic, imbued with the essence of the very darkness that helped bring it to life. Others suggest that it contains hidden messages, clues to a greater cosmic truth that humanity has yet to comprehend. As scholars continue to decode its intricate text, the question remains, what lies hidden within the Codex Gigas? As the pages turn and modern interpreters grapple with its weighty legacy, they are left with a lingering sense of foreboding. The Codex has transcended mere words and illustrations. It has become a living entity, a dark artifact that refuses to relinquish its secrets. Those who seek to understand it are met with an unsettling realization. Some knowledge is shrouded in darkness for a reason, and the cost of discovery may prove far greater than they can fathom. The Devil's Bible, a harrowing testament to the complexities of ambition and despair, stands as a formidable reminder of the fragile boundary between knowledge and chaos. As we unravel the tale of the Codex Gigas, we confront the unsettling reality that the pursuit of immortality, whether through the written word or the essence of one's soul, often comes with a steep price. Its pages filled with sacred texts and sinister illustrations, echo the whispering shadows of those who dared to seek enlightenment. Yet, as they ventured into the depths of forbidden knowledge, they inadvertently opened doors, better left closed. The haunting legacy of the monk Herman serves as a cautionary tale, illustrating the lengths one might go to escape their fate, only to find themselves ensnared in an even darker destiny. In the flickering candlelight of our curiosity, we are left to ponder a chilling truth. When we reach for knowledge, what darkness are we truly willing to confront? The Codex Gigas invites us to peer into the abyss, yet warns us that the shadows may stare back. It compels us to question the very nature of understanding, as the thirst for wisdom can lead to a descent into madness, forever binding us to the darkness we sought to illuminate. As we close this chapter on the Devil's Bible, the echoes of its ominous history linger in the air, a haunting reminder that some truths are shrouded in shadows, waiting for the unwary to stumble upon them. The legacy of the Codex endures, its power and mystery undiminished, serving as both a beacon and a warning, a timeless testament to the eternal struggle between light and dark, knowledge and ignorance. Remember, in a world full of unsolved mysteries, what we don't know is often the most terrifying. Stay tuned for more chilling cases, right here on Shrouded Mysteries. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss an episode. Thank you for joining us as we delve into the shadows of the unknown, where the truth often lies buried in silence.